there, I welcome you to this video in which I'm going to explain and show to you the basic features that Betty, my new software, has so far. If you want access to it, you may follow the links in the description. There is a chance to get an early access, but of course I'm looking forward to get some feedback. It is launched already last Wednesday, I think, 16th of August 2022 maybe, and a couple of users are complaining already. No, it didn't work everything perfectly, but we are working on it and trying to improve it and make it work. So you can follow it. Of course, you're welcome if you like my channel or the content, or if you like Betty you're interested in, or if you check out my homepage and my other links, Twitch and so on, that I'm streaming on. Like this video is always welcome. So when you enter Betty, when you have your access token, registration is not possible yet on my homepage, but we are working on this as well. Quite some work. Anyway, when you come in here, then you usually see the fixtures of the day. There are none, not in the leaks. So I just, for a start, I subscribe to the 25 leaks package and Sport Monks and so on, and in which I tried, of course, to initialize these as well. So usually these leaks are initialized here, which is something that maybe some of you know already from the old tool that I'm not going to promote anymore because it's messed up. But I'm just focus on this one. And of course, I tried to make use of the spotted the things that went wrong, let's call it, right? Especially, of course, I'm trying to simplify matters here. Of course, to see the full not the complexity, the full power of this software is actually in the back end. It is not that I'm trying to impress you with the layout or so, or just catch users also with baits or whatever they call it these days. It is the back end that is the power of this tool. And of course, I'm although I just wanted to show you the features, I'm not getting tired from mentioning that these algorithms that are driving the calculations here are unique. No one used them yet, and to prove it's unique is not important. It would be, the proof would be on to show that these calculations are better, or the method is better. But the thing is here that we have those team settings. So I advise you to look at this video and afterwards look at the one about the team settings. So they are correlated, right? Because it is very important to get your team settings right. And that is, so to say, the next one of the features that I consider to be important, and that I'm working on. And of course, I'm trying to still to improve and get those smart in it and things like that to simplify matters for you. But for those who are deeply into it and you learn to do it, also the beginners or the standard betters, that no one of you is, of course, but they would, as soon as they started and they see the first figures coming out and they see the bets proposed also, and then they could still say, oh well, I'm not quite happy with this price, so can I adjust something? Where can I do that? In the team settings. That is the important part, to get it somewhat individual, but also just input your expertise. That is the second big difference in my software. It is the one thing is that the algorithms, they are working well, they are pretty unique. Also the update of all the parameters and the calculation methods and so on, and the proof, the validation methods, statistical, that we will come to later, not in this version, but they are not seen, at least for my part, but maybe you study and know better. But anyway, we want to convince with the results, of course, and for that we want to you use the algorithms and do not necessarily need to to look as deeply as to understand them and be able maybe even to copy them. Maybe it's possible, but the point would be you can make use of them. Anyway, so we see the fixtures of the day, and then we see this calculation of the true prices, so to say, and the difference here to market prices when you have an odds comparison site or you look at your bookmaker's price and you see those prices are compiled to 100%, which means the sum of the reciprocal of these three prices is 100%. I'm not displaying it here. I could do it for extra feature also, right? Display the probabilities and then show the sum of these three. But maybe you make a simple Excel calculation, then you see it is right what I say. Of course, the used method for that to get those figures is the compilation. So I have the compilation and evaluation mode. So you have the chance here to select the date. After you selected the date, I went for Friday because the weekend starts and we have all those 25 leagues more or less playing. They usually play. I tried to do some decent team settings that I can show quickly later. And now the compilation, which means, well, computing more or less. Compilation is an old term that used by odds compilers, how they set up their prices in the bookmaker stores already 100 years back maybe. And this is not, it is kind of an odds compilation, but it's more a computing of probabilities, but turning out to be odds compilation as well. So I call it compilation mode. And the evaluation mode is what you need to do after the games have been played to make those changes work. So the adaptation, all those parameters, they are being adjusted as soon as you evaluate the matches. It means, just simply all it means is when a team perform badly, they have a bad result, let's say, they will drop down in the ranking, and if a team have a good result, they will go up. But this is done by a very highly sophisticated, you could call it, but also very logical algorithm. But we are not here to talk about the algorithms, but rather about the features. And the compile feature is one which is important to know, and which you usually want to do because you want, if in case you want to place your bets, you want to see what are the true prices. As soon as the market has a bigger price than that, you have a bet suggested by your settings. If here a price comes out, then it's based on my settings. So this is one of the huge differences between my tool and of course the local host is not going to work right now, which means I should stop this presentation, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is, because this is my test environment and this test environment sometimes fails, what I can do instead, so you see what I'm doing here, I'm going to this environment, and this is the one that is uploaded that the users have. So this one should be working. I mean, I will try once again, and now I go ahead, and now we get the prices. So it's 293, 328, 282. I mean, this is the important part, and this is, of course, what matters for your bets. This is what matters for you making money. But if you say, why don't you bet on these figures? Why don't you make money like this? Then I say, well, I'm not actually working on this part. So I could try to adjust the settings for Gaziantep or Antalyaspor, compare with market, look at this lineups. As I said, look at the team settings video in which I explain what factors can have an impact, and I'm trying to implement this for you in the Smart Init, or even make it, I could do a market comparison and tell you or give you recommendations and so on how to set the teams, but that's something you have to do yourself. This is one of the big features, but also advantages of this software, or this kind of idea that sets me apart as well from the competition, I would say. I mean, no one offers you, enter your team settings, you get them, mine, but you can improve on them Because if you know the Turkish league better, then you say, no, 293, I know Gaziantep or I know Antalya or whatever it is. Base it on former results, base it on market values, transfer market values, or base it on efforts that you saw or that you know about, or signings or the coach or whatever it is. And this is what I explained in this other video. I'm just going to compile one more game, and I'm not even comparing these. All we could do is look at the Freiburg against Bochum, because most of you may know the Bundesliga better, or maybe the Italian league here. Market is here somewhere around 180, 190, I think, when I checked it, if I remember correctly. And this is, so the computer would either, or the engine with my settings, or this is simply, it would be my bet, so to say. I have to bet on Lazio not to lose. Now I can still decide either I want to make the bet, or I don't bet it, or I'm rather doing the paper betting at the moment, but never mind. And then any user that has the same figures here that these early access users would have, but they are good enough to be able to adjust the settings. But he can either do I bet or I don't bet, but he can also say, no, market is better. So either Inter Mailand are a bit better or Lazio a bit worse. That's your choice. But everything will influence this. And if you trust the market, you say market is good here, then you can move those prices slightly in this direction. Anyway, it's one of the features. It is the compilation. The evaluation mode I can hardly show you because there are no matches been played that I can evaluate, but as soon as there are any, you can evaluate them, which is of course highly recommended. It will change the status and you will get a check mark next to it. So after this, you see the game is evaluated, it's been compiled, evaluated, everything's done. So it's gone to the books, so to say. And this is a very important part of the cycle. And if you forgot to compile, then I allowed this recompile, enable compilation, even if matches already kicked off or finished. Be careful with that, because it makes your data partly inconsistent. Because if you do that, mistype here, consistent, I'm going to fix that. But if you compile after a game has been finished, which I could do now also for past fixtures, then it means it's going to compile them maybe based on results of matches that had been played later. So you somehow are cheating, but maybe you're cheating yourself. But it somehow makes it inconsistent. So you can do it, because for all those maybe that forgot one day, or you're traveling, or you don't have the time, or whatever, you say, okay, I can happily compile after the game has been played. I know what I'm doing. And now I evaluate those games to get them into my update cycle, because I want it in there, right? But be careful with it, because I could compile maybe and recompile matches from first match day, when of course those compilations would be based on the current settings, which are different to the one on the first match day. So then I wouldn't recommend it to do it. Maybe you get better results, but you are cheating yourself. Maybe you find lots of winning bets then with that and say, oh, great software here, I won all the money on paper, but you didn't compile it before the games have been played. So that's highly recommended to compile before a game is kicked off. There is this, so we have the chance here to compile many games in one go. You can also evaluate many games, but I have to warn you here that I'm getting a timeout after like 40 matches. It doesn't alter the functionality, so what you had to do, for those who used it already, you click on them all, if there are more than 100 sometimes on a weekend, and then you evaluate them, and after 40 you get a timeout, and then you click the box again here, and you get the next 40 more or less. So it's gonna mark them all, but it's gonna exit after 40, so then you would have to reload the page. That's all. It is, of course, I'm trying to fix that, but that is part of it for now. The state is going to change, and the very important part, of course, is the team settings thing here, when you can select any league. That's the Scottish League, and now even Celtic are top, which surprised me a bit, because Rangers should be number one. But if I'm wrong here, I can easily, of course, change Rangers, just to show you that it even works, because I don't know where this, so to say, error came in, because Rangers are the number one right now. Oh, escape. Oh, I went to escape. I'm sorry. But anyway, I should do that maybe on my own later. But we get the UK flag here, which is a bit sad. But I changed it for some reason. But now I should here. And now I'm sure I want to store it. Yes. And Rangers I want to make better. I don't know why they are mixed up, but Rangers are champions and they're pretty clearly. Now this is fixed, so to say. Now I still would have to go to the store button that you don't see here, but now you see, you do. And now it tells me here your changes have been changed, and your changes have been saved. Yes, that's right. And now I can. I thought this is gonna go after 6 seconds. Of course I can. Yeah, now it's gone. And now I can go back here, and now you see Rangers on top and Celtic in second place, right? Anyway, this is part of the settings, and don't be afraid, but check out the other video. Now I'm more or less through already. You select your match day, you get those games, you can compile them, you can compare these prices with the market prices. This highest average had been working for myself, but it took a bit too long, so I didn't want to, so I have to implement or find a better way to implement this. But anyway, that's intended now that you see highest and average, so you can decide that you want it. But of course, there are more features to come. Maybe in a different video, I'm gonna explain this. That is it for now, and this, of course, should be watched before the one with the team settings. So anyway, I'm gonna leave you now, and leave a like and check out Betty or ask more questions or get the community going. Join our Discord where I'm trying to regularly leave some notes on it or development status and so on. And join me on Twitch or follow me on Twitch also when I will regularly, but it's time is a bit short, but I'm trying to update regularly there. So thanks a lot for watching, and bye bye, see you soon.